Scorekeeping by Kenosha Opera Festival. Now, I'm not usually one to lose my mind over a celebrity, but today I am going to be absolutely fangirling. Which celebrity am I talking about? Obviously, the one and only Ludwig Göransson. What a dreamboat. of a composer, of course. That's right. This Swedish composer, who shares a name with another very popular but deceased German composer, is about to get an absolute love letter of a scorekeeping episode from yours truly. If you don't know who Ludwig Göransson is, I'm sure you know his music. He wrote the movie scores for Creed, Venom, Tenet, and Black Panther, winning a Grammy and an Academy Award for the last one. He also writes music for television, including Community, New Girl, and The Mandalorian, winning an Emmy for his work on that one. I won't be touching much on The Mandalorian in this video, but if you're interested in hearing more about that score and its inspirations, we have another scorekeeping episode just for you. Göransson's cultural reach doesn't stop at TV and movies. He is well known for his close collaboration with fellow musicians and artists, particularly Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. They met on the set of Community and quickly realized they could accomplish great things together. The most famous product of this collaboration is This Is America, a music video that addresses the social issues in modern America. Göransson earned 2 Grammys for his work on This Is America and a total of 6 altogether with his work with Donald Glover. Göransson describes the process of working with artists as different from movies because he gets to actually be in the room with another musician. He looks at it as an opportunity to learn more about music, especially when the other artist has a different musical background or training than he does. Born in Sweden, he studied music as a young child, brought up by his musician father to develop an appreciation of the mystic arts of pop and rock. In his teen years, he embraced the wisdom of the old masters and branched into classical music as well as jazz. He says that during this time, he obtained the skills he would eventually need to become the composer that he was born to be, including learning to play scales, studying harmony, and improvising. He graduated from the Stockholm Royal College of Music and moved to LA at age 22 to study at USC. During his 1-year screen scoring program, he scored 30 student films. That means on average, he had to be brainstorming, writing, and producing a complete score every 2 weeks. Here, he first worked with Ryan Coogler on the award-winning short film Fig, and the two eventually went on to collab on Fruitvale Station, Creed, and Black Panther. Shortly after graduating, he started assisting Theodore Shapiro on films like Along Came Polly, The Devil Wears Prada, and Tropic Thunder. Göransson's big break was being selected as the composer for Community in 2009 at the age of 25. Remind me not to think about how old I am right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not fangirling hard enough yet? Music teacher fangirl moment! A fun fact that you may know about Ludwig Göransson is that he played nearly all of the instruments you hear in the Mandalorian soundtrack, including guitars, piano, and a bass recorder. An even more fun fact is that he says he learned to play the recorder in elementary school. That's right, kids. You could be the next Ludwig Göransson. Now go practice. Göransson is well known for acknowledging his inspirations, which come from a variety of sources. His first favorite band as a child was Metallica, but he also recalls borrowing Foxy Brown's China Doll from his sister's collection when they were living in Sweden. Later in his life, Donald Glover introduced him to George Clinton and Funkadelic. He recalls movie music having a profound impact on his childhood, including the scores for Edward Scissorhands, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, and even the theme song to MacGyver. When he was a senior in high school, he won the chance to have his Danny Elfman-inspired piece, 5 Minutes to Christmas, performed by a professional orchestra. In his work on The Mandalorian, Göransson is clear that he wanted to pay homage to John Williams, both for his work on Star Wars, but even in regards to his earlier work, like his score for the lesser-known film Earthquake. All this to say, you can't pin Göransson down to just one style or sound, but rather a lot of random influences which at the time might not have seemed very significant, but eventually developed him into an incredibly unique artist. Göransson is passionate about immersing himself in the context of his music and incorporating genuine elements into all of his compositions. When working on Fruitvale Station, a film about the police killing of Oscar Grant, Göransson recorded sound from an actual BART station, where Grant was shot on the train platform to incorporate into the score. While scoring Creed, he visited a Philadelphia boxing gym. In order to make his music for Black Panther authentic, he traveled to Senegal and collaborated with musician Baba Maal. This demonstrates an impressive level of commitment to his craft. With his skill set, Göransson could be writing music for nearly any genre, performance style, or ensemble. So why TV and film? Göransson traces his lightning strike moment back to seeing Batman Begins in a Stockholm theater. Sitting in the theater and listening to the music by Hans Zimmer, he reminisced that it was like watching a musical or an opera, and that he had never experienced those visuals and that kind of music together before. He wondered, how can I do this? Fast forward to his most recent project, the score for the new Christopher Nolan film, Tenet. This is a huge deal for Göransson, not just because of the size and scope of the project, but because of the opportunity to collaborate with Nolan, the director of Batman Begins, as well as follow in the footsteps of one of his inspirations, Hans Zimmer, who is well known for regularly working with Nolan. Göransson and Nolan quickly bonded over their shared musical tastes and the albums that inspired them the most, and the partnership was born. That's when the real work began. Let me set you up for what a daunting project Tenet would be to pitch to a composer. Christopher Nolan's brain teaser blockbuster is built on the idea that objects and people can be sent back in time to the present, but with an entropy that's inverted, meaning everything happens backwards. Got it? Okay, now go write the perfect score for this concept that will convey this meaning entirely through musical affect. For Göransson, this presented a unique musical challenge that took from start to finish around a year and a half. Let me walk you through a year and a half in the life of Ludwig Göransson as he works on his score for Tenet. It took about 5 hours for Göransson to read the script the first time. He started meeting with Christopher Nolan about once a week, starting 3 months before the movie began filming. Göransson then started churning out demos for Nolan, who took these tracks with him everywhere he traveled for the film, which was shot in 7 different countries on 3 different continents. Once a decent amount of shots had been collected, Nolan and the editor started splicing in Göransson's music to the scenes. Göransson says that at this point, he started watching the film every Friday for about 40 weeks. Easy peasy, right? So, let's talk about what went into those tracks that Nolan took with him around the globe. Göransson knew he needed to achieve some symmetry between inverted visuals, what the audience is seeing on the screen, and inverted music, his score. First, he recorded 3 percussionists playing the main rhythm of the theme. Then, he reversed that recording on his computer and played this for the other instrumentalists. He asked them to emulate the recording, but first, he wrote those musicians' music backwards on their score sheets. And then he recorded them playing that, and then he reversed it again in his computer. What? The general idea of inversion isn't actually a foreign concept in the musical world. Lots of composers have been known to use inversion as a way to vary the themes of their music, rearrange the harmonic structure, or honestly, just to show off. The simplest kind of inversion happens in a chord. Your basic triad has 3 notes: Do, Mi, and So. Without actually changing what notes are used in the chord itself, I can restack these notes, otherwise called inverting them. So, do, mi. This inversion doesn't sound like a big change on the piano, but can make all the difference in an orchestra when instead of the low brass playing do, you give them so, or the violins playing so are now playing mi. Another example of inversion is retrograde, basically musical palindromes. Retrograde music is the same forwards and backwards. This is especially impressive when written in two parts, like Bach's Crab Canon. The two parts, which are perfect mirror images of each other, can be played simultaneously and actually sound good. Now, there are a lot of notes on this page, so let's just compare the first two measures of part 1 with the last two measures of part 2. They're mirror images of each other. You might be thinking, Crab Canon doesn't really sound like the soundtrack to Tenet. And you would be absolutely right. Göransson has taken his classical training and combined it with modern technology and contemporary techniques to create something completely new. Besides the fact that it sounds super awesome and adds numerous layers of emotional and dramatic context to the film, the sheer innovation of this accomplishment is worth celebrating. Have you seen Tenet yet? If so, share your thoughts on the film in the comments. Let us know if there are other movie composers that you think deserve the scorekeeping treatment. Thanks for making it to the end of the video as always. And if you enjoyed what you saw, we'd appreciate a like, and it would probably be smart to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Share this video with a TV or movie music fan in your life. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have an awesome and operatic day.